Hey,
Hey, good morning.
morning. Well, it's afternoon here, but
Right, time zones.
where are you at right now?
I am in LA.
Oh, okay, nice, nice. I'm Tatiana, by the way. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm super excited to talk to you today because I was telling Madison yesterday, like Outer Banks has been my quarantine obsession. Like I'm so obsessed with the show. I love it.
Thank you so much. We're so like we can't even believe the reception that it's getting. We're
Mhm.
all like super duper excited about it.
Yeah. Talk to me about like what has it been like to hear like the fans' reception to the show?
Yeah, I mean, like the fans are like they're absolutely amazing. Like we have some of like the best fans. We see a lot of like the edits and some of the posts they do, and like we love hearing the support for the show. The ships and all everything. We love it.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about your humble beginnings before Outer Banks. Like you're from Texas, right?
Right, Houston,
hmm
Texas.
So and then you were in sports too, right? You did like football and stuff like that. So how did you make that transition to acting?
Yeah, I mean, I think I started acting, like wanting to act, especially when I was around like 6, 7, or 8.
hmm
Um, it was just kind of like this thing I always had a bit of a passion for, just the movies in general. Like it was a big treat, when my dad got to take us to the movies because we're a big family and it's expensive for us to go to the movies. So it was like a thing, you know.
hmm
And so I just kind of grew up with this love of like movies, and like I would every time I get a DVD, I'd watch the bonus features on the movie. I'd I'd study it. I'd look at the actors, and I remember telling my dad something along the lines of I wanted to be like a superhero or something when I was a kid because
hmm
Spider-Man had just come out, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, those aren't real people; those are actors." And I was like, "Well, I guess I want to be an actor," and
Dope. I love that.
just kind of took off from there.
hmm So I feel like I've heard everybody's story of how they got involved with Outer Banks. What do you have like a crazy audition story? Or is yours more traditional?
Yeah, I think it's kind of that same traditionalist story. Like I auditioned for the first time back in February of 2019.
hmm
Got the call back, did a chemistry, and Rudy was actually playing John B at the time instead of JJ. His
Interesting.
story is absolutely insane.
Uh-huh.
He was playing John B, and I got the call maybe 2 weeks later that they wanted to cast me, fly me out to Charleston, and it was a blessing. I remember when I got the news. Like me and my dad is kind of like my surrogate manager. He's not
hmm
my actual manager, but he acted like that for a really long time and still
Yeah.
does. But I remember I told him like as soon as we found out we got a big part or like anything, like we were gonna play Juicy by Notorious, and
Yes.
yeah, I put it on the television. I streamed it through the phone,
hmm
and as soon as he walked in like the house, it was like oh you get a grip, like it started up and we just started like dancing and crying and hugging each
hmm
other. Like it's something we've been working for like maybe 10 years at that point.
Right.
Just to try to like breaking into the industry is the hardest part.
hmm
And, once you got your foot in the door, it's who knows where your ceiling is.
And what drew you to want to be a part of the show?
I think it was just like the way they thought about the characters
hmm
and sort of like this more than the stereotype of the nerd, the dude, the bad boy, the
Right.
girl characters. They tried to they really wanted to listen to what we had to say about fleshing them out and like how we can make this more realistic, more three-dimensional, how this friendship could be more real than it already is because it's a
Yeah.
real friendship. We're all super super close and tight,
hmm
and we were just trying to like I think the writers would come and like talk, like especially Shannon and John. They would come and talk to us like, "Hey, what do you think about this? Like we're thinking about taking Pope or whoever here. Like, what do you
Yeah.
think about this?" And then we would give our opinions, and sometimes like dialogue, we look back, we see another script, and like, "Oh yeah, I remember talking about that." So I think it was just a chance to work on a project that was not only was the pilot amazing when I read it. It was an amazing pilot.
Yeah.
Um, it was that it was the idea the idea the people behind it had,
hmm
that It didn't feel
Absolutely.
like a studio. It didn't feel like a studio made it. It felt like people made it.
Yeah, definitely. And it just radiates off the page. And like you were saying, you guys' chemistry, it's like you've known each other your whole lives, you know? You can really, really see that in the characters. I want to talk about the dynamic between you and your dad on the show because I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes I love how they captured that because I feel like sometimes in the Black community, like we do feel this pressure to,
Hmm.
have this sort of excellence and stuff like that. And I thought that was really captured well in the
That
show.
was that was a deep conversation I had with Roger because when people talk about like what do I think about Pope is most like myself, I get that question a lot.
Yeah.
It's the pressure. It's that pressure of being from both sides of the coin, of
Mm-hmm.
being from that poor, lower income household, with
Yeah.
my hood friends and like having the good grades in school and like
Hmm.
the ambition to do something bigger and trying to like balance how much do I work versus how much do I kind of enjoy being a teenager. Like I
Right.
didn't in high school. I didn't go to prom. I was obligated to acting. I rarely had girlfriends. Even
Mm-hmm.
if it always like I always had to like leave to do something acting wise. So I
Yeah.
sacrificed. I didn't go to parties. I sacrificed all that. I didn't even get to play my senior year of football. Um,
Oh, yeah.
which was yeah. I played 3 years. I played all the way up in my junior year. I was I come out and I was doing pretty well, and like it was like the consensus that I was probably like I was starting, but then like the opportunity came for me to move to Los Angeles, and it was like you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then going back to Roger of portraying that a realistic black father black son relationship. Now, spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I would never ever punch my dad in the face.
Yeah.
You know, you know, it's not going down like that. It's not going down like that.
Absolutely not.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but like I remember, like the writer came to me and we were talking to Roger. I was like, how can we make this as realistic as possible? You
Yeah.
know, something that because it's an out there thing. Like a black kid punches his dad in the face and he doesn't die the next day. It's kind of out there,
Right.
an out there concept. But I even talked to my dad about it. My dad was like, it wouldn't be going down like that. But we had to make it come from like this real emotional place of like it wasn't so much the punch as it was it's finally the son standing back up to his dad.
Right.
And I think that's what the emotional crux of that scene was, especially
Mm-hmm.
like with Roger. That's what hurt him. It wasn't so much the punch. Like the punch probably didn't really get him like that. It probably wasn't that
Right.
hard. But it was the fact that you would do that.
Mm-hmm.
What killed him. You
Yeah.
know.
That was
So
such a powerful scene for your character too. Just to see that whole like tit for tat with you and your dad. And I feel like the whole season, you were talking about your merit scholarship interview, and then we see in that moment, you don't even hesitate when you realize about with John B. Um, I think Pope made the right decision. Do you think Pope made the right decision?
and time will kind of tell with that. But like I've seen like I think as Pope, I think yeah, he made the right decision.
Hmm.
At the time after it just happened, I'm sure he was like regretting every choice he made in his life.
Yeah.
But I was talking like somebody was saying like, do you think he'll get his merit scholarship again like in a future season? I was like, I think sometimes you just got to deal with loss. Sometimes you don't get everything you want. Sometimes you work for something and you give it up and it's gone. And
Right.
I think if he just gets it back immediately, that sacrifice was for
Mhm.
nothing, and that
Yeah.
character development was for nothing.
Hmm.
That was big. That was a big moment for Pope. Because that's all he talks about all the show.
I know.
I mean, like, man, that man says merit scholarship more than more than probably John B in the whole show.
Yeah. And just like you realize how important it is to him. And then when JJ, takes the fall for you, that's another big scene where we see the friendship between all of you guys throughout the series as well. What
Yeah,
what was one of your favorite things to shoot in the show?
uh, probably like in terms of fun, like just
Hmm.
like it was cool. Was probably that crane house. Like not the exterior parts because it was hot, nasty, and gross out there. Like it was gross, but like some of
Uh-huh.
that exterior stuff, like just like I like when all the characters are kind of together and
Hmm.
they're going at it. JJ and Pope are bantering. They're making jokes with each other.
Hmm.
That's the kind of stuff that I really like because I think our when we're together, like when we're all together, it's like something special. Like
Yeah.
we're friends for real. So being able to be yourselves and like your real friendship on like a TV, like while you're doing the job that you like have been trying to do for years that you love to do,
Hmm.
is something like it was just like a surreal, amazing experience.
Yeah. And I feel like everybody's so ready for season two because we all binged it in like 3 days and we're just so anxious and so ready. What do you have like any theories or something maybe you would want to happen in season two?
I mean, like it's so open. Like I feel like we're not allowed to really say anything too much about season two. They tell
Yeah.
us, just that's how it goes. Personally for Pope, if I just had to like throw anything out there, I think the idea of like where is he at? Is he still in Desert Storm? I don't give a care mode. Does he
Hmm.
get back? How does that affect his relationship with Kiara?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? What does that even turn into? It wasn't really fleshed out in season one. Are they gonna like is that gonna be fleshed out more? I'm interested. There was an idea being floated around of like of Hayward and his family adopting JJ, like being his surrogate father. I heard that
Interesting.
idea somewhere, and
Hmm.
the idea of JJ and Pope like having a smoke session together, like Kiara and Sarah did the first
Yeah.
season, is something I really like. That really intrigues me. I think that'd be like,
Hmm. How do you feel about like all the ships? Because lately the fans have been talking about they see Kiara and JJ together more than Kiara and Pope.
I think it's awesome. Like the fact that you are invested enough in our characters and in our story to care where like if what fictional characters are together is literally the coolest thing.
Yeah.
It's like you care so much about these characters. You just want to see them happy. You want to see
Hmm.
somebody happy with each other. You know, like I think the thing was like somebody like I think the thing is kind of like JJ needs a win. He's gotten the crap kicked out of him the whole show.
Right.
So I think they see him and Kiara together as kind of a win. Like, oh, it's a win for JJ if he gets Kiara.
Yeah.
You know, some say like it's a chemistry thing, but I think that too. Like it's just interesting to see like what because I think we all work really well together.
Yeah.
I'm just really interested to see what the writers want to do with the characters. The
Hmm.
writers know what they're doing. They said like Jonas said he had like 4 or 5 seasons already planned out. So
Oh,
what happens?
exciting. That do you think Kiara and Pope are a match? Like why do you like what do you think attracts like I know in the beginning, like in the first episode, all the guys are kind of like into her, but what do you think Pope really thinks about Kiara? Like, you know?
Yeah, it's like you saw a little hints of that in the first season of him like
Hmm.
looking at her like it was a thing that he could never obtain. And I think I said this in another. I think I said like after Pope loses that scholarship and then like the gold's gone with Cameron,
Yeah.
he nothing to lose. His relationship with his father is bad right now. He can't like
Hmm.
he really can't go home again.
Yeah.
He walked out of his scholarship. So and Kiara was kind of that last thing that he had to be like if I don't get like if like I might as well shoot my shot right now
Yeah.
because literally nothing else holding me back from it. He's high, he's drunk, so he's like I'm gonna shoot my shot and he fails. Like he fails pretty hard. It's like I'm like part of me wonders like was it like is she actually attracted to him? Was it the wrong time to do it? He did come back at the end and like kind of save her, and he's
Hmm.
like he's there as an emotional support. I'm interested to see if Pope. I think when Pope has confidence is what she's more attracted to, because Pope finds his confidence in the last couple episodes. He
Oh, for
finds,
sure. Yeah.
and I want to make sure his confidence kind of stays with him.
Yeah.
That's a nice like little character, like a little character arc for him to have. And
Hmm.
now it's about him not being so much of that Desert Storm rage monster and more of like, all right, now you got to be smart Pope, quirky Pope again, but you should keep some of the confidence you had. An interesting little arc.
What are the ways that you think you're similar and different to Pope?
Yeah, I'm a nerd. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a nerd. Not to that extent. Like I wasn't getting any merit scholarship interviews or anything, but like I did relatively well in school. I was like top. I was in the top 10% of my class at the time.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I was. I mean, it was, like I was like the rule was with my family. Like I had to keep good grades or I could not act. I think a lot of us, especially in the black community, like if you want to do the thing you want to do, you got to keep good grades.
Yeah.
And that's facts. So like I would like it was more than like being smart. It was more like I just did the work. Everything I had to do, I did it. So like that. you know, I especially like in high school, I probably had I had some confidence issues for sure.
Hmm.
Like, you know, you have to learn that as you get older. You learn like what matters and what really doesn't. You know, that's like what shapes you as a man. And I think the willingness to do things for my friends like that. You know,
Hmm.
he's at the end of the day, he's ride or die for his friends, and I think every
Absolutely.
group
Yeah.
gets that. And you know, I like to think that I have that trait too.
Hmm.
Differences. I'm not as unathletic as he is, and like awkward.
Yeah.
I had to teach myself how to not that scene where he has to like throw the rock at the window. I kept hitting the window, and I wasn't supposed to. And
Yeah.
they were like, throw it less athletic. So I threw it with my left hand, and I still hit the window.
Wow. Okay.
But I had to like it took like so many takes to like get that little floater. I just did it like a floater, and
Hmm.
like had to hit the trash can. But yeah, that's probably where I differ from him the most. It's just like I'm not as unathletic as he is.
Do you think that the Pogues could successfully plan any heist without Pogue? Because I
Oh
don't.
no, they'd implode. They'd be like they'd have the idea, and they'd be like, all right, how do we do it? You know, I
Yeah.
think Kiara could like corral him a little bit, but you need Pope. You need the brains. You need the one who's thinking all that stuff, like thinking all like they probably come up with the plan, but they wouldn't come up with the backup plan for the backup plan, and that's where
Right.
Pope comes. So like, yeah, I think you definitely need all, especially all four of them. Like, I don't think you could do it without JJ. I don't think you could do it without John B. And I don't think you could do it without Kiara,
Yeah.
because you need all four. When they're all four together, is when that like really when they really work.
Hmm. And I want to talk about like how has your life changed since Outer Banks? Like this is, it's number one on Netflix, top 10. Everybody's watching it. You guys are everywhere. How has your life like dramatically changed since this point?
Uh, I mean, like other than like social media, which I really didn't pay attention to
Hmm.
for this, nothing. Like I wake up, I mess with my sisters, I work out, I talk to my dad, I try to like figure out like things I can do to help my craft. I practice guitar.
Yes,
Um,
I didn't even know you could play guitar. That is so awesome. Do you think happen in like Outer Banks season two? Pope will be playing the
I
guitar.
hope so. I think I think it'd be cute for him to play for Kiara.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like you just kind of like pick something and practice it, try to get better at it. You know, I miss the cast. I really do miss. We used to hang out like all the time together, and we
Hmm.
like call each other. We're like, man, I really miss you. All right,
Some
bye.
of them are quarantining together, right?
Yeah, a few of them like they kind of got stuck together, so like we might as well quarantine together. A lot of them don't have families here,
Yeah.
so like my family's here. So luckily, I just went stay with my family.
Hmm.
But they some of them don't. So like they're like they just like, well, we're a family, so we're quarantined together. So that yeah, I'm sure if my family wasn't here, I'd be with them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you can just really I feel like everybody, this is like a cast people want to be a part of because you guys just have like that family and such that close knit unit. What has been keeping you quarantined and keeping you entertained in quarantine? I heard that you're like a big anime fan.
Yeah, I do. I just finished Samurai Champloo again. That's a name
Hmm.
drop for anybody who knows what that is. Um, yeah, I've been watching. I've been trying to catch up on some of my animes. I've been drawing a bit more. You know, trying to get back into my art. Like before I wanted to be an actor, I wanted to be an animator. So like, I started drawing when I was really young, and
Very
I
cool.
like, one just kind of took over the other, and I've kind of fell out of like my art. So I'm trying to get back into it. My little sister Jillian, really good artist. Like
Hmm.
she's 12, but she's better than I was when I was 12, and she's
Yeah.
probably about to be better than me for sure. So like I'm trying to like mold her into my little protege so she could like go out and do some like Disney animation.
Ah, man, I wish I could draw. That is not my skill set. I have a little sister too, and she can definitely draw a lot better than me. Um, and so you've been doing anime. Have you been watching anything besides Outer Banks?
Yeah, I mean like I don't really watch Outer Banks again. Like I watched it when like we got like little early screeners to do
Hmm.
like that stuff before all this. I watched it maybe 3 or 4 times in. I was like, all right, I can't watch it again.
What?
Like because it was like because it got to this point where I was like, man, like I started questioning my every little move, like every like thing I did. I was like, oh, I look so gross in that scene. Wow, I look so unattractive there. Dang, I should have like wore sunblock. My skin is so much darker. Like, I'm not that dark. Like guys, I'm not. I promise.
Yeah.
you know, you're out there in that Charleston sun, and it's like humidity, and it's like it reminded me of being back home in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, I can't watch it anymore. So like, I've been watching literally everything but, or I'll like just not watch TV for a day,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll play video games. I'm like on 2K and like Smash Bros and like, you know, I'll play video games. So if anybody here plays, hit me up for sure.
And I also heard Madison told me that you were a big jokester, and I heard that you keep a lot of memes on your phone. What is the meme that you've been using the most right now?
It is what it is. Yeah, probably that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There's this
And is it true that you know the movie The Road to El Dorado word for word?
start to finish. There are two movies like
And
that movie and Mystery Men. I know start to finish.
what is your favorite quote from The Road to El Dorado?
Um, the one where it's all like stars, not aligned. And
That's my favorite one too. That
favorite.
movie is such a classic.
Yeah, it's really under like when I talk about like when I base my banter kind of off with like JJ or anybody, it's that movie
Yeah.
because the way Kenneth Branagh and gosh, I'm blanking on the other guy's name, but the way they can like do that kind of banter in an animation, like
Mm-hmm.
especially like because they're not sometimes they're not in the same room. I'm sure they are sometimes, but most of the time they're not in the same room. The way they can like make it feel real and like improv and like funny and like there's
Mm-hmm.
little things you're not noticing, like little lines that'll like go over your head the first time you hear it, the second time you hear it, you're like, oh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Like it's Kevin Kline, thank you. Brought Kevin Kline. The way they can like banter, like that's something I strive to do. Like
And I
especially
heard you and Rudy did that like in a few takes, right? You guys were improving. Like there was a whole scene that you guys just improved, and they actually ended up using that.
yeah, it was that whole that was out of nowhere. It was just kind of you know, you just try to make each other laugh on set.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you try to mess up the tape, and that's our goal. Is like if everybody laughs on set, then you did something right.
Yeah.
So it was that line was improv. There was a few of the lines like during that like when John B brings Kiara into the group for the first time. A few of those he kind of just like I remember Jonas walked over to us. We were sitting there. He was like, "I need you guys to just go for this take. Like say whatever, do whatever, just go."
Mm-hmm.
We were like, "Oh, bet." And we like kept going like in between takes, before takes. We would just kind of keep saying stuff.
Yeah.
And like Madeline and Madison Bailey are both like really in it. Like they're like upset with each other. And Madeline, like she was like, she didn't mean it like this. But she turns over and we're like talking. She's like, do you guys like stop? Do you breathe ever? And she meant it like I can't believe you guys like still have stuff to say. Like the improv
Right.
is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it came off just because she was in character as like, shut up. And Rudy and I just look at each other and we're like, and we say nothing for like the next two takes. And she's like, I did not mean it like that. And we're like, no. We get it.
We're gonna stop. We're at work. So speaking, you know, you said you hadn't had a lot of time before Outer Banks to like date or anything like that. There's a lot of heart eyes in these emoji in, you know, in these comments. How's your love life now since Outer Banks?
I mean, it's something I try not to focus on. I feel like, you know, you do your work and then you'll end up where you're supposed to be. You know, I'm trying to like you want to find like somebody like eventually somebody who's like I don't want to find somebody who's into all the things I'm into. I want to find somebody who's into me enough to care about the things that I'm into, at least a little bit, you know? Like, I don't want you to come in, like, you don't got to really care about anime, but you got to care that I care about anime, you know?
Yeah, that makes
So
a
it's
lot
like,
of sense, actually.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
like, we'll see. I mean, like, I'm not like actively looking for a girlfriend, but like, you just like, you never know. You can't like pass up your opportunities when you find somebody who's beautiful and who like like inside and out and who like cares, you know?
Yeah.
I think the most attractive thing about a woman is like somebody who's funny, somebody who can like hold their own in a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and like, you know, smart. It's like I guess like I don't know, like it's like we're trying to find like the perfect, like nobody's looking for the perfect person. We're just looking for somebody who's like who cares enough about you to care about other things.
Right. So as JD, would you date Pogue Princess Kiara, or would you date Kook Princess Sarah Cameron?
Ooh, that's tough. That's big tough. Ooh, they both got like such great qualities. Like it's hard to like pick
They
one.
do. They do.
Right. And I feel like if I choose Maddie Bailey and Klein are gonna call me like, excuse me, JD. Um, I don't know. I'd probably go for Kiara. Probably. I probably would go for Kiara.
Okay. Okay. We can see that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. Is there anything that you want to tell the fans right now who are watching about you or about Outer Banks?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for getting the OBX Insta page to 1 million followers. Now Rudy Ponko has to make a TikTok, and he doesn't
Woo!
want to do it. He hates TikTok. He hates
He
everything
does.
about it. And I'm very excited to make him post cringe. But he doesn't like because like me and him both kind of swore we wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I ended up having to break down just because we needed to make a video to kind of like hey, OBX is about to stream. It was like a little trailer video,
Yeah.
and I ended up uploading like another behind the scene things to it. So I made like maybe 3 or 4 of them, but like I think that's gonna be it for me for a while. However, I did promise Rudy I'd do it with him. Like I'd do something crazy with him.
Okay.
So you
And we
guys are amazing.
expect more guitar videos.
For sure. Rudy and I are planning something right now actually that's gonna drop kind of this week in terms of
Ooh,
us collabing on like
exclusive. Okay. Well, I'm sure everybody's going to be looking out for that.
yeah. I mean, guys, like look out. It'll be kind of cool. We're just gonna have fun. Uh,
Everybody loves like you guys' on and off screen bromance. It's like the best thing ever.
yeah, Rudy and I are tight. I mean, we're all tight. Like I call
Hmm.
all of them, like Drew, Chase, Austin, Rudy. We're all super tight. So the
Hmm.
bromance is like a 5-way kind of
Yeah.
thing.
um, oh, I asked Madison this, so I ask you, give us 3 reasons why everybody should watch Outer Banks on Netflix.
um, it's got the summer vibes. You know, we're all stuck inside right now. If you're yearning to be outside with your friends, this is a show that'll definitely fill that gap. Two, the story is gonna take you for like a crazy loop. Like
Yeah.
you'll be watching it thinking it's one thing, and then all of a sudden it'll hit you out of left field with something you never thought, like just some more craziness. And three, you know, it's our little passion project, baby. You know, that friendship's real, and that extends to the crew, the costume, the hair, the makeup, the gaffers, the lighters, everybody, PAs and all, sound. It extends to the crew, and it's like we all made it like a love project, and
Yeah.
it being out there is more than enough.
Hmm. Absolutely. And I'm so glad I got to talk to you today because I'm so obsessed with the show. I'm such a fan. So this is like
I mean, it's
a moment.
like
Yeah.
this is my shrine. I got to talk to my shrine real quick. So
Hmm. Have you
love you.
ever had a summer like the summer in Outer Banks? Like,
When I was shooting out of banks, that was it. I mean, like I'm not gonna lie. Like I went out in summers and did some like, because I'm from Texas. I did 4-wheelers and fishing and EE stuff.
mhm.
That's just the nature of living in Texas.
Yeah.
But never like Outer Banks.
Hmm.
We actually did all that except for like the crazy like fights and like treasure and
Right.
stuff. Like all the fun pogue, being out there in the water. We did that. We all did it as a friend group off camera. So
Hmm.
it's just so real to us.
Yeah. And it really shows, and you should be so proud of yourself because you're amazing in the show, and the show is fantastic, and everybody should watch it. Check out Outer Banks on Netflix. Thank you so much for talking with me today. I
Thank
had
you.
fun.
It's an honor, really. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right,
Talk to you soon. Bye.
please.